number of our uses. So, or a number of our districts, sorry. Emergency shelters, we're putting them as a discretionary use in the P1 Commercial Highway District and the Light Industrial District as well. For residential care, we're putting that one as a permitted use in the P1 district and a discretionary use in the R3 district. So we've kept emergency shelters as a discretionary use so that we can have some more kind of control and some more say in the matter. Discretionary uses, we also circulate them as well. So if there's ever an application for a discretionary use, we circulate it. All adjacent landowners get a letter in the mail, that kind of thing. And it's kind of up to us to put a notice in the newspaper as well. So just kind of closing statements on this one. It adds 2 new definitions to our land use bylaw and adds these uses to a number of our districts as well in our land use bylaw. It's important for a community that's growing to constantly add definitions and things through districts. Thank you.
Thank you. Were there any written submissions?
No.
Are there any persons wishing to be heard in favor of the application? Seeing none. Are there any persons wishing to be heard in opposition to the application? Seeing none. Does council have any questions of our development officer? Seeing none. Does the development officer have any closing comments? None? Thank you. Does council require any further information in order to make an informed decision on the bylaw?
Your Worship, if council is ready, I'm prepared to make a motion.
I will accept a motion.
I move that the public hearing be closed.
We have a motion on the floor to close the public hearing. All in favor? Carried. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is adoption of the minutes of the January 27th, 2016. Pardon me, sorry. Adoption of the agenda. Any deletions or additions to the agenda? Take my glasses off so I can see. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda, please?
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Are you sure?
Am I sure?
That one item that we have, the addition, administration is going to be bringing that forward, okay?
That's 9.3?
Yes. Okay, good. And I have 2 items that I will bring forward under, I will call it 13.1. One is a pink shirt day, and the other is a congratulation in regards to the Calgary Stampede Queen. No other additions or deletions? Oh, administration, please.
I have one.
Oh, please.
In regards to land owned by the town of Strathmore and the Marigold Library System,
And where will that be?
wherever you want it, Your Worship.
New business? 9.4?
Sounds good.
And
And just an item with regards to an AUMA resolution, Your Worship,
And will that?
under new business.
Under new business, 9.5?
Thank you.
And administration? Just the 9.3.
Your Worship, I move to adopt the agenda as amended.
Sorry, Your Worship, we also need 9.3 council per diems.
Thank you. We have an item 9.3. Now I will accept your.
I would move that the agenda be amended.
We have a motion to accept the agenda as amended. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is adoption of the January 27th, 2016 regular council meeting minutes.
Your Worship, I would move that we adopt the January 27th, 2016 regular council meeting minutes as presented.
Any discussion?
Your Worship, I'm gonna refrain from voting since I wasn't there.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Next item is adoption of the February 3rd, 2016 regular council meeting minutes.
Your Worship, I would move the council adopt the February 3rd, 2016 regular council meeting minutes as presented.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? And carried. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is delegations, and Western District Historical Society has asked to come forward and bring some information. If the Western District Historical Society would like to come forward and introduce themselves.
Yes, my name is Lynn Fair.
And my name is Bruce Kleiber.
And you have the floor.
Your worship and fellow councillors and citizens. All actions taken by the Western District Historical Society and the town of Strathmore are defined by the Historical Resources Act and were taken in the hope for this opportunity to have future benefit to our community. The Society is grateful for this opportunity to present our information this evening. And given the current tone and some misinformation presented in letters to the editor and some articles in the local papers, it seems imperative that the Society present a timeline explaining events pertinent to the present situation. During 2014, a group of interested people met to do the groundwork needed to form a society. We worked diligently to write bylaws, do strategic planning, and take board governance training. While we were in the process of forming the society, the opportunity was presented to us to preserve the former Anglican Church building. Our mission statement is to capture, preserve, and share our community's distinctive past. Therefore, we felt that preserving the church as a municipal historic site would be of future benefit to this community. Since we were not officially a registered society until January of 2015, our board was not able to make any formal presentation or offer regarding the Anglican Church building or the Anglican Church building on site. In the months following our society's incorporation, we worked in conjunction with the town of Strathmore to find a site to relocate the church building. We also researched through Alberta Culture and the Historic Resources Act, the regulations and the process to follow regarding historic designation. The Society acted in a supportive role in seeking this historic designation, as the town of Strathmore has identified the value of historic sites in its downtown revitalization plan, its area structure plan, and the municipal development plan.
Thank you, Lynn. Your worship, if I can start maybe with a little side story. In the century past, when I was actively involved in the residential development of Strathmore, a councillor approached me one day and he said, Bruce, he said, I've noticed that every time something comes on council's agenda that you're involved in, we get a full house. Is that working? Okay. We get a full house. And so he said, could you come more often, because not many people come to the council meetings anymore. So it was sort of like the good old days when I appeared here tonight. So anyway. All right. My part is to go through the timeline. And before I start, I want to bring two corrections to everyone's attention. First of all, on the second page under Thursday, September the 10th, 2015, right at the bottom note there, it says the Historic Resources Act does, and the word not should be there, does not require. Okay? And then I think at the end, there is also a note saying that the town of Strathmore is operating an open house on March the 1st. It says on the paper 4 to 6, but I think it's actually 4 to 8, isn't it? Yes. Okay. So, all right, let me begin. August the 25th, 2015, the Society met and toured the Anglican Church building with the representative of the Anglican Church. August 31st, members of the Society met with the town of Strathmore and Lambert Village residents to discuss relocating the church to Lambert Park. This relocation plan was not accepted by the Lambert Village residents or the neighboring residents. Early September 2015, the society determined the designation of the Anglican Church building in situ was much preferred to designation at a new location. According to Alberta culture, once a building is moved from its original location, it no longer qualifies for historic designation and for major restoration grants. Wednesday, September the 9th, 2015, the society met as a group to discuss information they had gathered regarding the Anglican Church building and site, lot ownership, the asking price per lot, etc. Then on Thursday, September the 10th, 2015, the society met with the representative of the Anglican Church. Discussion followed regarding the ownership status of the Anglican Church building and site and the adjacent 4 lots. The representative of the Anglican Church stated that all 6 lots were for sale and that the Anglican Diocese of Calgary and the Congregation of St. Michael and All Angels Parish of Strathmore wished to sell all 6 lots in one sale contract. The representative of the Anglican Church described previous offers that had been received but were eventually refused. The society explained to the representative of the Anglican Church that the society's focus in regard to the Anglican Church building had now changed and that the organization had determined the historic and economic significance of restoring the Anglican Church building in situ, that is on site, rather than at a new location. The society further commented to the representative of the Anglican Church that the society was in the process of seeking financial support in order to make a purchase offer for the 6 lots that were for sale. The society asked the representative of the Anglican Church for notification should an offer for the 6 lots be received prior to the Western District Historical Society having their offer prepared for presentation. And then the note below that, of course, the Historic Resources Act does not require the Western District Historical Society to make a purchase offer for the Anglican Church building and site. We did, Your Worship, put together an offer because we knew that the congregation and the diocese wanted to sell all 6 lots in one block. And so we did. We didn't have to, but we did. We did try to put an offer together. So let me continue on. Monday, September 14th, a member of the society phoned the representative of the Anglican Church with an additional request regarding the rectory situated on 2 of the 6 lots that were for sale. The representative of the Anglican Church mentioned that an offer had been received for all 6 lots and that the Anglican Diocese of Calgary had already accepted the offer and that the Congregation of St. Michael's and All Angels Parish would vote on the offer at a scheduled meeting on Monday, September the 21st, 2016. The above information created concern for the society, for the representative of the Anglican Church had not informed the society of the receipt of a purchase offer, as agreed, and the society had not yet completed a purchase plan nor obtained the required financing for its own purchase offer. Strathmore Town Council was meeting in 2 days on September the 16th, 2015, so the society asked for a council agenda position so that the society might inform council of the situation and also ask for advice on moving forward. Over the following 2 days, the society was able to negotiate a joint venture agreement with a private investor to come into a purchase arrangement and was able to secure lender financing. And by secure lender financing, what I mean is we didn't have final approval, but we certainly had a positive indication that financing could be had for the society's portion of the joint venture plan. As a result of this activity and the joint venture agreement and the lender financing, the society was now within $70,000 of being able to finalize a purchase offer of $470,000 that they felt the property was worth. for the 6 lots. With $70,000 required for the equity portion of the Anglican Church building and site purchase, the Society decided to seek input from Strathmore Town Council at Council September 16th, 2015 meeting. In the morning of Wednesday, September the 16th, members of the Society again toured the Anglican Church building and site property and the rectory with the representative of the Anglican Church. Near the end of the tour, 2 Society members approached the representative of the Anglican Church and informed him that with Strathmore Town Council's approval, the Society was prepared to offer $470,000 for the entire 6-lot property, and that the Society would seriously attempt to present the representative with a written offer by the afternoon of Friday, September the 18th, 2015. The Society's members went on to describe the benefits of the Society's offer, which included a cash purchase price, no conditions required, possession within 60 days, no moving or demolition costs, congregation and the Anglican Diocese of Calgary should be happy to see that the building and property would be designated as a municipal historic resource. The representative of the Anglican Church responded by saying that they were still not happy. Then he turned and walked away, leaving the Society members and the 6-lot property altogether. Wednesday, September the 16th, later on that day in the evening, the Society members attended the regular Strathmore Town Council meeting and informed Council of actions taken to date by the Society regarding the Anglican Church building and site. The Society also requested Council's direction in securing that site. Council directed town administration to enter into negotiations to purchase the Anglican property. And I have another note here. It says that administration was directed to name the town of Strathmore as purchaser. On Thursday, September the 17th, at a Society meeting with the lender, it was revealed that due to a technicality, financing could not be advanced to the town of if the town of Strathmore was named as the purchaser. So without secured financing, the Society could not ask town administration to continue with their draft efforts, and nor could they present the offer to the representative of the Anglican Church until further consultation with Council, the Strathmore Town Council. And the next scheduled council meeting was October 7th, 2015, some days away. Friday morning, September the 18th, a Society member phoned the representative of the Anglican Church at 8:30 a.m. to seek a delay in the congregational meeting that was scheduled for the evening of Monday, September the 21st, 2015, so that necessary purchase offer adjustments could be approved prior to the presentation. Before the Society member could explain the reason for the call, the representative of the Anglican Church stated, "I'm glad you called this early, for I'm about to leave my house and I will be away for the weekend. The earliest I might return is Saturday evening." Again, the representative of the Anglican Church avoided a meeting previously scheduled with the Society without providing any notice of his departure. Tuesday, September 22nd, 2015, a Society member telephoned the representative of the Anglican Church to inquire about the results of Monday evening's congregational meeting. The representative of the Anglican Church stated that the St. Michael and All Angels congregation, like the Anglican Diocese of Calgary, had accepted the offer for all 6 lots. Monday, September the 28th, 2015. At the request of the Society, Mr. Stefan Seislik, I hope I pronounce his name correctly, Heritage Conservation Advisor with Alberta Culture, arrived at the invitation of the Society at 1 p.m. to perform a site assessment on the Anglican Church building and site. Tuesday, October the 20th, the Society forwarded a letter of request to Ms. Linda Nelson, Deputy Chief Administrative Officer with the Town of Strathmore, requesting that the Strathmore Town Council consider designating the former St. Michael and All Angels Church and property as a municipal historic resource. Tuesday, November the 10th, 2015, the Society sent a letter to the Director of Property of the Anglican Diocese of Calgary explaining the desire of the Society to have the Anglican Church building and site designated a municipal historic resource and seeking the support of the diocese and others in this project. Wednesday, November the 18th, 2015, the Society attended the Strathmore Town Council meeting to listen to the representative of the Anglican Church's address to Council and to assure Council that the Western District Historical Society desired a win-win situation for all parties involved in the designation of the Anglican Church building and site. Tuesday, November the 24th, a Society member received an email from an unknown source suggesting that the Society purchase property to the east of the 6-lot property and then exchange the 3 lots of that property for the 2 lots of the Anglican Church building and site. Other conditions were also attached. Thursday, November the 26th, the Society received an email from the Director of Property for the Anglican Diocese of Calgary. This email was in response to the Society's letter of November the 10th. The email received stated that, and I quote, "Neither the parish of St. Michael and All Angels Strathmore nor the Synod of the Diocese of Calgary consent to, support, or approve any designation of the St. Michael and All Angels land and building as a municipal resource. Further, we will advise the town of Strathmore of our position and will actively oppose any such designation. The building is, in our view, not of any historical value," which was a bit of a shock for an organization that had had a service of that building for over 100 years, that they had saw no historical value in it. The email goes on to say that the designation would sterilize the land and make it worthless, and the email further states that there is an unconditional agreement for the sale of 6-lot property, and the Society's attempt at designation is frustrating that sale agreement. Early December of 2015, the Society received an appraisal for the Anglican Church building and site that was dated December 1st, 2015. On Wednesday, December the 16th, the Society was informed that the solicitor for the town of Strathmore had sent a letter to the solicitor for the Anglican Diocese of Calgary, and that the letter asked the Anglican Diocese of Calgary to, and I quote, "negotiate with the town who clearly indicated their intent to act within the relevant legislation." Friday, December the 18th, the Society was informed that the solicitor for the Anglican Diocese of Calgary has responded to the town's December 16th letter, indicating there is an unconditional purchase contract to sell the 6-lot property. The letter goes on to say the purchase contract is dated September 24th, 2015, and conditions were waived on October 1st, 2015. The letter also says that a term of the contract states lots 21 to 24 shall have all structures removed prior to possession. Monday, December the 21st, the Society received a statement of significance concerning the Anglican Church building and site in Strathmore. This was prepared for presentation to Strathmore Town Council January the 13th. Wednesday, January 13th, 2016, the Society attended regular Strathmore Town Council meeting to present a consultant-prepared statement of significance that pertained to the church building and site, and to request Council to forward a letter of intent to the registered church building and site owner indicating that Council is seriously considering designating the property as a municipal historic resource. Now, the reason for the foregoing action, it was taken in response to a demolition permit request made by the representative of the Anglican Church and concerning the Anglican Church building. So Society felt they had no alternative but to make that request for a letter of intent. On Wednesday, January the 20th, 2016, the town of Strathmore issued a letter of intent to the Synod of the Diocese of Calgary, Alberta, as registered owner of the Anglican Church building and site. Again, Your Worship and council members, I would say that all actions taken by the Western District Historical Society are defined by the Historical Resources Act and were taken in the hope of creating a future benefit to the community. We did put an offer together, as I said, and it was made verbally. We weren't able to put it in paper because, you said, it was put together over a 2-day period. Things were rushed. We had hoped that it would be able to be put on paper, but unfortunately it wasn't. But there was no attempt to come back and talk to us any further or negotiate with us any further on that. We were just informed after the following Monday meeting that it was, the other deal was closed. I don't know if you want to have any questions now or later. I have, okay, I have another item that I want to present. But anyway, go ahead, sure.
Councillor Balls first, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Mr. Kleiber, Ms.
Yes.
Fair, thank you very much for your presentation, and thank you for the chronological events. I really appreciate that. My question is, you may not be able to actually answer it, but
Okay.
if you can give me an idea,
All right,
how much grants or approximately can you receive from the province?
We were told, and I mean, we haven't done this in detail, but we were told that there would be we would be available to apply for up to 200,000 in matching grants.
Okay. And if that building's moved off that site, it's zero?
My recollection is that 5,000 might be the most we'd get.
Thank you very much, Your Worship.
Yeah, that was a real shocker to us, to find out from Alberta Culture that once we thought, initially we thought, hey, the building is the historic piece, but no, to Alberta Culture, the address is the important piece. Okay,
Thank you.
and so when you move it, I mean, you've got a nice old building, but as far as they're concerned, it's an old building.
Councillor Fuel?
I just had a comment and a couple of questions. Thank you,
Sure.
Mr. Kleiber, for your presentation. The first is a clarification, and I wanted to reassure the Anglican Church congregation that something was printed in one of the papers that the town of Strathmore denied the Lambert Park property as far as a site for the church. And your point on August 31st, 2015 clarifies that.
Right.
And it says the relocation plan to Lambert Park was not accepted by the neighboring residents. So I wanted to clarify that. We were really happy if the church could have been moved to Lambert Park, but the residents of Lambert Village were really against losing their sight line and their view of the park. Second question, at any time in your discussions with the representative of the Anglican Church, was there ever a discussion of a partnership with the Historical Society, a developer, possibly the town, to restore the church and have it used for services as well as a historical site for the society?
We have certainly talked about that ourselves as a society, and we'd be most happy if we do get possession of the building and the site. We'd be most happy to work out a kind of a joint venture with the congregation, which I know they plan on building a new church, but in the interim, if it would be of use to them, we'd be most happy to share.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last part of my third question is, at any point in this timeline that you've given us, was there an offer that you felt or that the society felt was accepted to purchase the building itself as opposed to the property? Did that come up, and was there ever an agreement as far as the building purchase?
There was a verbal agreement for $1. But that was some time ago, and then when our focus changed, we didn't follow through with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I want to continue on that theme because we were just putting together a future timeline. We're thinking about that, and we're saying, okay, So the open house is March the 1st that the town is going to have, and the council can't make a decision until March the 21st, and I think you have it scheduled, you hope to make it March the 23rd. And we're looking at the April 15th condition date on that agreement. And we're not wanting to put the congregation or the diocese or that agreement in jeopardy if council's decision is negative to our application. That is, if council comes back, council sometime late in March is going to say either designate or not designate. And if they say not designate, then the terms of the agreement state that that building has to be gone by April the 15th. And so that is of a concern to us because we may lose the designation, but we don't want the congregation and the diocese to lose the deal just because someone is not able to move that building prior to that deadline. So what we're willing to do, if the congregation and the diocese want to sit down and talk about it, what we're willing to do is we're willing to say, look, in order to build some flexibility into that April 15th deadline, we're willing to put funds up to $20,000 into a trust or into escrow that will ensure that that building, should there be a negative decision by council, that will ensure that building will be moved off that site, okay? And conditions permitting, it'll be moved before April 15th. But if conditions don't permit, and you know we're into spring, so who knows about storms and whatnot that could come through.
And, sorry, a follow-up to that. Is it true that the church itself has been sold to someone else?
We have heard that. We have heard that.
So that would make it really difficult as far as you trying to help and get that building moved away. And
That was the end of my presentation here, is to say that if we were to put this money up, it would be on the understanding that ownership of the building could come back to us. Okay, I mean, Plan A, as far as the society is concerned, Plan A is to have the designation for the building and the site, because that has the most historic, the most economic significance that we've been able to determine. Plan B is for the building, okay? And so we're willing to get involved, but we would ask that if we are asked to get involved, that the ownership of the building would revert to ourselves.
Councillor Graychuk?
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Mr. Cliver, for your presentation. I may get shot on asking this question because in open council, but I'm going to ask it anyway. And this is directed to administration. Do we have to have a public hearing to designate this property?
I don't believe we do. I don't think this falls under your typical, like a land use bylaw rezoning. You still have to advertise, and you could have all three readings in one night. So you wouldn't have to have first reading, public hearing, and second and third. It's more like a designation, like a municipal reserve or an environmental reserve or a road closure, that type of bylaw.
So we would, in a sense, it would be a public hearing.
Not a public hearing, no.
Thank you. And the Summer Games Committee, Finance Committee, and I don't know what you'd call them, but under finances, they were giving out some money to them, what you had left over. And I want to understand there was, and I'm just remembering this $20,000 that would be donated to the
25, I believe. Yes, 25.
Yeah. And
right.
was that tied to whether the church was staying there or not, or?
I think it was,
To the Anglican Church project.
yeah, to the Anglican Church project.
About moving it, it's just to the Anglican Church
Right.
project.
So you really have $30,000 then, you got 5,000 from?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do, yes. Let me go back to the original proposal where we were $70,000 short, okay? We now have 30 to 35 of that already, okay, that we could make up. And so, also, I mean, as a nonprofit organization, we will qualify for casinos. We can apply for provincial, federal, and municipal grants. We can look to corporate and private donations, either cash or in kind. We can look to fundraisers to raise money. our objective is not to be a burden to the town. And we thought we had, over a 2-day period, we thought we did fairly well, putting together an offer of $470,000.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Further questions? Councillor Blokland?
Thank you, Your Worship.
Yes.
Again, Mr. Kleiber, thank you very much for an excellent presentation. I'm just wondering if I should ask my questions now, or can we hear from the other side before I ask?
Oh,
them?
by all means, yes.
Okay, I'll defer my questions to later.
Oh, okay. All right, sure. So in closing, Your Worship and guests, the Western District Historical Society encourage all interested parties to attend the Town of Strathmore Open House on Tuesday, March the 1st, from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Civic Center. There will be a panel of representatives from the Anglican Church, the Western District Historical Society, and the Town of Strathmore to address any concerns and questions. Thank you.
Did you have a question?
Your Worship, I did, sorry, Mr. Kleiber,
yes,
before you
sorry. No,
run away
that's
from the
fine.
hot seat, just one more
Sure.
quick question.
Yes.
Has an official letter been sent to the Anglican Church Diocese or the Anglican Church representatives with respect to, here's our offer, short of what we don't have? Has an actual offer been sent to them from the Historical
No,
Society?
everything happened in such a, I mean, September the 10th, we were told that the site was for sale. So by September the 14th, we were told that an offer had been received. It had already been approved by the Anglican Diocese in Calgary, and the Anglican Diocese, I believe, is on the name of 6 of those lots, or 5 of those 6 lots. So the only clearance for that agreement was a meeting on the following Monday. And we were told after the following Monday that the agreement was signed. And so from there on, there's nothing.
So, but it was a verbal agreement exchanged?
It was verbal, yes. As I said, we town administration were busy preparing the offer, and we had to say, sorry, you can't do that because the funding arrangement that we had wouldn't work with the town as purchaser. It would only work with the society.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kleiber.
All right? Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next item on our agenda is the Anglican Diocese. Did they wish to come forward and add any comments?
Yes, Your Worship, thank you. Hopefully this is on. My name is Brander, initials RB. I'm the solicitor for the Anglican Diocese that owns the property that's been served with the notice of possible historical designation.
You're going to get your mic adjusted here in a second.
Your Worship, I'm going to be very brief with respect to the timeline that we just heard. I'm not going to even attempt to comment on a document that I haven't seen and everybody else apparently has or had a copy. Except to say that it doesn't exactly always accord with the timeline that I've assembled since becoming involved in this process. But I'm not even clear why the document is in any way relevant to what's going on. The council has served a notice that it intends to consider a bylaw for a municipal designation. In my simplistic, reverting back to my simple engineer's brain, I would say that's a pretty simple process. You're going to decide if you consider it a municipal resource, and you're going to decide if it's worth paying for the privilege, if I can phrase it that way. My main request to council is that at some point soon here, you let us know what the process is going to be for that bylaw. I note staff informed you tonight that they do not believe this requires a public hearing, which I think was also in accord with my likely reading of the statute as well. But that doesn't stop you from holding one if you feel it's necessary. I would just like to know what the process is going to be so we can go ahead. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm going to have to be putting together a timeline and asking for your time to present my timeline in a different forum. The one other thing I would suggest for process is that it would probably be helpful, and maybe this would be something that could be assigned to your administration if you felt appropriate, would be for somebody who isn't one of the parties directly involved to explore the question of grants from the province. I had a rather interesting conversation today with the manager of historical designations for the province after the joy of downloading all 480 pages of the guidelines for historical significance on Friday for light weekend reading. As I believe, as everybody knows, the province did send one of their people out to look at this site and decided that they did not consider it appropriate for historical designation. The manager did confirm to me there are grants if there's designations in place. For a municipal designation, the maximum matching grant is $50,000 a year. I'm not quite clear where 200,000 or so came from. Those grants can't be applied to either purchase of the building or moving a building, and there's various other things that are ineligible. And the manager, of course, stressed to me that you can apply for $50,000, but you may get 50, not 50,000. She also stressed that there's two important steps that have to go on to even be eligible for grants, and one that the town has to do a designation of historical resource. The second step to be eligible for money is the province, which is the manager I talked to, has to decide that the site is appropriate to put on the list of significant historical resources in the province. This would be the same manager who also decided it wasn't worthy of a provincial designation. So I would suggest, I don't want to get into a debate over a complex thing in front of you tonight. I would suggest that may be something you want to get the administration to do, because they don't have an axe to grind one way or the other and can probably talk to this manager just as well as I can. Sir, subject to any questions that you have, that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Before we take any questions, they've asked the administration, they've asked for a confirmation in regards to changes on that bylaw, and when it gets presented, administration is prepared to be able to keep the Anglican diocese current in regards to what's happening on that?
Yes, absolutely, Your Worship. And I guess just to be clear, we have not drafted a bylaw, and we didn't intend on drafting or even considering a bylaw until the 23rd. I believe that meeting was just to discuss whether or not there was any merit in preparing and bringing a bylaw forward. So there is no bylaw at this time.
And when you say the 23rd, you mean March the 23rd?
Yes, I do, sorry,
Okay.
Your Worship.
And just as an area that's come to my attention, March the 23rd is not a regular council meeting. So I would suggest we will likely have to declare a special meeting for March the 23rd, because last council meeting, Councillor Sobel, who is not here tonight, asked for that to be brought forward on March the 23rd.
That's correct, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Graychuk?
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you very much for your presentation. I don't want anybody to read anything what I'm about to say or ask. Is that supposing all the wheels fall off this whole thing, is this going to jeopardize the existing unconditional offer to purchase?
Sir, everybody in town seems to know that purchase and sale deal better than I do. You perhaps be better.
I don't know. We don't either.
We do not know.
Sir, I understand what could go on as it's the longer it goes on, the purchaser obviously has financing in place, and they've been sitting on a deal with financing in place since September, and there's a worry that if it goes on past April 15th, the financing could fall away. That's the concern that I understand. I didn't handle the real estate deal, so.
But just a minute, sir. It's unconditional, so there is no condition of financing. We were told several. Don't forget, that would be be a term maybe, but not a condition.
Well, but pardon me, but if the church isn't able to close on the 15th because there's a pending resource designation and you're still within the 120 days from the notice period, the purchaser's then going to have an out if they can't get their financing extended. I hope that's clear.
I don't agree with that, but anyway, that's just my opinion.
Councillor Fuel?
Just a question, a couple of questions, actually. One would be directed to the representative of the Anglican Church. It's a shame that, is it Reverend Beveridge is not here? Is he here tonight?
No.
No, he's, I believe, at a prayer group tonight.
Okay, I was going to ask, and maybe Angela can answer this. As far as the building property, Mr. Kleiber mentioned Plan B. Is there an opportunity still for the building itself to be purchased by the society, or is that a done deal?
Sir, Your Worship, if I can answer that as the lawyer, my understanding is from the documents I have, there is both an agreement of purchase and sale for the land, and there's a separate deal to sell the building, to move it off the site. And that was the subject where there was a mention of a demolition permit, and of course the intent wasn't to demolish the building, the intent was to move it, and as near as I understand it, there isn't any such thing as a moving permit. You apply to demolish by moving, so somebody may want to clear that up, but that's my understanding of why was a demolition permit that was taken out. Sir, in the problem the church is in, we have is what we view as two valid agreements. So we can hardly go in and start sitting down and negotiating with somebody else another agreement that would inherently violate our good faith wish to perform the agreements we already signed.
Okay.
That's the trouble. That said, sir, and I don't want to get into negotiating a deal in front of council. I mean, if somebody was to come to the church and say, "Hey, we've got a brilliant idea," who knows what could develop?
Yeah, and I guess that leads me to the second part is there's been a lot of misinformation and different timelines, as you yourself said. So my question, I guess the RAC could have answered this too, and maybe Angela can. Was the congregation ever informed, or did the congregation itself ever think that an offer to purchase the church building had been made? Had you ever been informed that the society was indeed interested in your church building too, and had made an offer and it was verbally accepted? Was that ever presented to the congregation?
Sure.
We heard at various times that there were many people interested in buying the building, and we knew that the Historical Society wanted it and were willing to move it, and we were thrilled with that. Lambert Village, we were probably happier than anybody at that possibility.
But had the congregation been told that an offer had been verbally accepted?
No.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. If it was any help, my notes from the timeline I attempted to assemble went back to June 2014, and this was from Mr. Beveridge, saying that he was asked if the church would sell the building and said he would sell it for $1, but nobody ever actually offered to do anything. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Thank you, Your Worship.
Councilor Boatland.
Could I address, is it possible if I address Mr. Kleiber first?
Whichever you prefer, if that's possible.
I'll sit down. Thank you very much for your time, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Kleiber. As a councillor, I admit we supposedly follow provincial legislation on this matter, and I support the process moving forward.
Okay.
One of my main concerns, and as with others, is property rights. That was very evident in the second previous provincial election with Bill 51, and we all know where that election went. I'm concerned, and I challenge you, Mr. Kleiber, and any or all Strathmore landowners, building owners, business owners, homeowners, if we were in that position, like the Anglican Church has been put in now, how would you react? How would they react?
Well, that's difficult. Like I say, we started out, I've stood before council before saying that we wanted to assure you that we wanted a win-win for everybody. We've never done anything in this process to antagonize or done anything to be mean-spirited at all. we are following the act, and, or we have followed the act. We had hoped for negotiation, but like, as I said, everything happened within 4 days. I mean, from September the 10th to September the 14th, September the 10th, it was for sale. We started the process then to put an offer together, but by the 14th, we were told that, hey, it's already been sold. And then the ratification came, I think, on the 21st. So from that time, and if we were to follow the act as it's written, my understanding is that we would have never had to make an offer at all. I mean, we made the offer because there were 6 lots involved. It wasn't just the church and the site. It was the adjacent lots and the rectory as well. So we knew that the congregation and the diocese wanted to sell all 6 lots. That's why we scrambled around trying to get together that kind of a bid.
I'm just very concerned about property rights, title to owner. I'm seeing there's less and less rights here, but that's a good answer for me. I'm okay with that.
Okay, thank you.
Just to correct me if I'm mistaken on this whole bylaw, if it gets to that point and it goes through, financial compensation will happen back to the Anglican Church.
Yes.
Right.
Well, it will happen to the landowner. And this is something that I can perhaps add as additional information. Evidently, in the province of Alberta, since the Historical Resources Act was written, there has never been a contested designation. Everyone has understood what the Act says, that if economic harm is experienced by the landowner, compensation is due. We have never discussed once or asked council to appropriate this land. We're not expecting it for nothing. We never have had that position. So we're a bit, I guess, wondering why the diocese position especially has been so hard and so firm against what we want to do.
Well, I agree with your statement a few minutes ago. We're trying to get to a win-win situation. But
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
starting to think nobody's going to win in this.
Well, we hope that isn't the result.
Financial compensation back to the owner involves 6 lots. It involves a building. It involves already $60,000 spent to remove a hall,
Right.
fill a hole up. They have lost revenue on a house that sits on that property.
Right.
They've incurred other expenses. As you said, the longer this goes on, the legal expenses are going to go up.
But they have a pending sale that would include all those, wouldn't they? I mean, whatever the prices they agreed to, we don't know that, but whatever they agreed to, presumably all those things are rolled in. I mean, April 15th is the possession date, so nothing happens anyway with that agreement till April 15th. As I said earlier, the big concern from our viewpoint is if either council's decision is delayed or conditions aren't favorable to moving the building off the site prior to April 15th, then I think the diocese and the congregation are in a difficult spot because that building, for the contract to close, the building is supposed to be gone. And that's why we were willing to get involved. We're willing to say if it's of concern to the diocese and the congregation, we're willing to sit down and try and build some flexibility into that April 15th so that possession could go ahead on April the 15th for them, but we would have money in trust or in escrow or something like that to assure that that building will be gone as soon as conditions are permitted.
Yes, and I appreciate you very much for thinking of that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Kleiber.
Good. If I could add,
Yes.
if I could just maybe clarify a couple of points. One was the reaction of Alberta Culture saying they weren't interested in this as a historic site. That's a provincial designation, I believe, and probably the province isn't interested because they already have the Anglican Church at Gleason that's designated, and that's an older church. So it was explained to us that, yes, this wouldn't qualify as a provincial designation, but as a municipal designation, it certainly would.
Councillor Fuel?
Just a comment to one of Councillor Blockland's points. As far as the $60,000 site preparation, I'm not sure if that should be considered for this, because that site preparation would have had to been done for any kind of a sale, not specifically to this one sale. It would have to be done in order to move that property to anybody at any time. Second thing is, I wanted to reassure the congregation, I know we have members here, this has gotten out, and we're a lot like you people. We're residents here. We hear different things. There's all sorts of scuttlebutt and innuendo and misinformation. We've heard that people were afraid that we were trying to take your land and appropriate your land. We've never, ever wanted to do that. We've always tried to and thought of trying to find a good way for this to work. And that's why I keep coming back to Plan B as far as the church building itself. And something that hasn't been mentioned, and I know in the downtown overlay, we're trying to make sure we protect whatever old buildings are still left. Is there still a chance that these parties can get together even before the open house to see about that church building itself? Because if I'm not mistaken, and this hasn't been talked about before, but we have a parking lot across the street from Valley Medical, on the west side of Valley Medical. And that lot, could it be used to move the church building and keep it downtown? I realize you'd lose a lot of parking, but we have the co-op parking lot, and there is a lot less parking required now that the co-op has left. So that would give us a downtown site. It would give a site close to the Anglican Church, and it might circumvent having to go through this whole process, since the property itself seems to be the real stumbling point, and the building is what we feel very important. I think it could be a way that we could keep it downtown, move it, help the society, help the Anglican Church proceed with its sale, and even if the Anglican Church, I believe your congregation isn't huge, maybe if repairs and renovations are done, the Anglican Church could continue to use it for services while you proceed farther in your land purchase and new building plans.
And I have to make an apology. Councillor Blockland had not finished with his questions.
Sorry.
No, that's my...
I'm good with Ms. Kleiber.
So, did you have further questions?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. Could I just get back to Mr. Brander on the church side, please?
Thank you.
Certainly, thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Brander. I just have a few short questions here. When I'm talking about property rights and title to owner, what is your opinion or take on this whole matter?
Well, sir, I'll give you my opinion. I don't think I can give you the opinion of the Anglican Church on property rights and expropriation. I mean, my view is, I mean, obviously this is an expropriation. In my view, it's allowed by statute, as are other expropriations. And fact of life is, in our society, it's pretty hard to get anything done without some of those infringements on property rights. But this is one where, as with most expropriations, the province provides for, you can expropriate, but you compensate, and that's what the process is about.
Mr. Brander, what could the, again, this is all if things pass and move forward here, if this bylaw goes forward, what could the fallout and the financial consequences be?
Well, in my view, significant, as we said, we've got a deal for roughly $500,000. There's the problem that if this goes through, the church's the value. You've got a building sitting there with, as I understand, a non-concrete crumbling foundation. There's no heat in it. There's no power. There's no plumbing. And something's got. It's either just going to sit there and rot, or something's got to be done to maintain a building that can't be used. And just to be clear, the congregation stopped using this church. Sorry, let me look at my notes. In August of 2012, they decided earlier that summer let me just check. Yes, August 2012. Because the space was too small, and again, you're dealing with a building itself that didn't have plumbing in it. I think the only furnace is an old coal furnace. It got its heat, I believe, from the Link building that was in there. So it's not a space that was useful to them. So it's been out of use, and it's deconsecrated, so it's been out of use for quite some time now.
So the end result in this, again, if this bylaw passes, the Anglican Church will still own the properties in the building, is that right?
That's correct, and I mean, I would estimate for what it's worth at this point. I mean, if I was preparing for a land compensation board hearing on this, I'd be starting my compensation claim at $500,000 and going up for then, and then there's then there's both sides who've got their legal, they're gonna be paying legal and appraisers, so.
This could
So
be,
it's
and would this become town liability?
It would be the town liability. Under the act, to be clear, there's been a fair bit of discussion tonight of the statute and that, and I quite concede this. The Historical Resources Act is pretty brief on this topic. It doesn't require anybody to make an offer to buy the land. There's no stipulation of negotiations in that. It gives this council the power to do a designation, and then also stipulates if you do a municipal historic resource designation, then there's compensation for loss of, forget the precise wording, the loss of economic value or economic damages to the property. And if the parties can't agree on that, it goes off to Land Compensation Board, who, I think I'm correct in paraphrasing it, they follow the same procedures that they follow for an expropriation. And I'm sure the town's probably been through those as well, so.
Thank you, Mr. Barron. I don't have any more
Thank you very
questions.
much.
Did you have any questions? One question?
No,
Mr.
actually, it's Mr. Kleiber, actually.
Okay, thank you.
Your Worship, just if I may make a comment, we seem to be focusing on doomsday here. This council, to be very clear, has not made a decision. The town has not made a decision, so maybe let's not focus so much on the doomsday, and let's focus on listening to all of our facts, and on the 23rd, perhaps maybe we'll make our best decision at that time. Mr. Kleiber, my question for you is, do you have an offer? Has there been any conversations with you and Reverend Beveridge, forgive me if I didn't say his name right, hope I did, with respect to the church itself? Does the Western Historical District Society actually own the church or have rights to the church?
As far as conclusion of the offer to sell it to us for $1, I'm not aware of any dollar ever changing hands. But I should add that one of our members, Brenda Knight, was offered the church building on January 6, 2016 by Reverend Beveridge for $1. He said, "Where's your dollar? Let's finish this deal." Or something to that effect. You would have to speak to Brenda Knight.
So there's no documentation that you're aware, there's no conversations?
My understanding is there's a witness.
But the dollar's never changed hands?
But, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can't say that, no.
Okay, but there has, I guess I'm looking for a little bit more of a concrete answer. Has there been conversations with respect to the church and the society about exchange for money for the building itself?
Well, there have been conversations. There's been, the church has said to us that we could have it for $1 at one time. And Brenda Knight was offered it last fall, and then again, like I said, January the 6th of this year. But that's all. To my knowledge, money has not changed hands or any kind of a formal agreement.
Okay.
Right.
So if maybe you can't answer this question, I don't know. If this does not proceed or does not proceed or does proceed, whatever,
right,
what happens to that church? Can the society still move it off there, or is it a done deal?
Well, if council will make a decision, as I say, sometimes towards the end of March, either designate the church and the site, or they won't designate. And if they don't designate, then the building will come off. Okay. And it has to be off by April the 15th in order for this pending deal. And we've never seen the deal or anything else. This is just what we're told, that the closing date is April the 15th. So it will then need to be removed. Hopefully it wouldn't be demolished by April the 15th. I'm not sure what the other person's plans are. I'm just, we're just saying as a society, we can't own the site, to ensure both parties to this agreement that conditions favorable, it will be off there by April the 15th or as near to that date as possible.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Fuel?
Yes, I had a couple of questions. One is tied to a statement too, and I want to ask the want to ask the Western District Historical Society, other than the members of the committee, other than council members who might already be on your committee, did any other councillors meet with you on a regular basis in the last while regarding this?
You mean Strathmore Town Councillors? No.
No. Could I ask the Anglican Church, were there any councillors meeting with you regularly in the last while? Nobody was having any conversations with the Anglican Church group? No one on council?
No. I have met with Rocky a couple times since he made his motion.
Okay, I just wanted to make this statement that as councillors, we're supposed to stay open-minded and not present one side of the view and not say that we're going to be leaning in one side. We have to listen to both sides. I myself have not made any decision on this. I want to listen to both sides and make the right decision. The decision to pursue looking at a bylaw and putting a stay of demolition to stop the demolition was something that this council voted on unanimously. And council, I just want to remind council publicly that we are supposed to support each other and we are supposed to support the decisions we make and not work in opposition to those decisions. We have a code of conduct that must be followed. And so I just want to make sure that councillors are following the right guidelines and following code of conduct to make sure we carry ourselves professionally in the public, because they're expecting us to be open-minded and to not be biased in our decisions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No further?
I just had one.
Oh, we
I
have two.
questions.
Councillor Graychuk?
Thank you very much, Your Worship, but just as a couple of points, and to be open with everybody, number one, verbal offers under the Alberta Real Estate Act don't stand up in court, and that's a known fact.
We did not push that, no.
And secondly, you can have a written offer, and there doesn't have to be any dollar exchange, but and that's under the Real Estate Act also. Yeah.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to mention something with regards to Solicitor Brander's comment about designation, and I'd like our administration to comment on that, because I'm looking at the legislation in front of me, and I don't see anything regarding once a site has been designated by municipal authority, I don't see anything saying that the province has to approve it.
I believe once a property has been designated as a municipal historical resource, you would then send the bylaw to the province, and they would add it to a list of municipal historical resource sites.
If they wanted to.
If they wanted to, yes.
Thank you. A second point relevant to the comments of Mr. Brander was with regards to having a third party explore the grants. This was something that the Western Historic District did do, and the number was, as that was reported to us, we had a third party and someone well-versed in that, in community futures, and it might not have just been provincial grants to which she was referring, but the number was definitely in the $200,000 to $250,000 range. And so Community Futures is well-versed in that, and their information came also through Canadian Badlands Tourism, Travel Alberta. There were other groups involved as well. So I just wanted to mention that it may not have just been the province with relevant to their potential grant funding. And I had one final one, if I may, Your Worship. Councillor Graychuk, I don't always tell you this, but I respect your opinion greatly, and I especially when it comes to issues around land and real estate.
No, you're embarrassing me.
And you clearly have been a great resource for council. You said during the solicitor's presentation that you didn't agree. Would you like to comment further on that? I don't care if you choose not to at this time, and want to form your thoughts At another time, I'm fine with that as well.
I'd like to reform my thoughts because I want to get back to what his line was, and I just can't recall it at this moment.
Thank you. Just give me 1 second, Your Worship, to go through my notes. You can go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Councillor Walz?
Your Worship, something's bugging me here, and I guess while we're airing this all out, I might as well air this out. Maybe the representative of the Anglican Church can. I wish that the Reverend was here because he wrote the letter to us. He says from early days in 2014, it's an open letter. It says, from early days of 2014, the congregation through my office as incumbent has been in conversations with members of the society in hope that they would purchase our old church for $1 and move it to another location. In all cases, when I spoke to the current chair, at least 3 members of now the WHDS, there was an attitude of thankfulness that we'd make such an offer. He goes on to talk about a few more things, which is not really doesn't make sense to me. It's this one here. He says, Your Worship and council members, it is my hope that you will see that there is a solution to this that reflects our original intent to offer the building to them, the WHDS, for removal and preservation. That is to encourage and assist the WHDS in the removal and storage of the building until such time as a suitable location is found. So to me, Your Worship, that sounds like a willingness from the Anglican Church side to still negotiate with the WHDS. This was dated the 18th of November, but now I understand from information provided by Mr. Kleiber that the Reverend's been in conversations with other members trying to sell this church. He's already offered to somebody else?
The church was sold in December to somebody else.
So then, this letter he dated,
That was November.
so he, so yeah. So the letter's dated November 18th, but I'm just, it seems like there was a willingness from the Anglican side church, from Reverend, that he would work with the society, so I guess.
Certainly, we wanted the building sold and we wanted it off our land.
Okay.
The Historical Society was not able to do that, so another buyer did.
Okay, thank you.
I'm good.
You're good. Councillor Graychuk?
Just to clarify, so there's no point in dealing with the building because it's sold.
That's my view.
Is this great? Maybe Mr. Brander?
It's done.
Sorry, thank you, Your Worship. To answer the councillor's question, I said there is a written agreement to sell the church for $1, dated, let me just check the date,
December 15th.
December 17th, 2015.
So really, this is all for naught. Yeah. This is really all for naught. I mean, we're just trying to protect the church, and we're trying to work with everybody here, but it's really.
Well, sir, not to argue against myself, but you have passed a resolution under the Historic Resources Act, which puts a freeze on the, I'll use a colloquial term, puts a freeze on the property for up to 120 days. So, in spite of if you pass a designation, I'm not sure what's going to happen to both the agreement for sale of the church building and the land. Obviously, the church is going to have a little bit of trouble performing on those agreements if it can't do something, if it can't get the church off for the one purchaser or for both purchasers. So the land purchaser wants the church off, and obviously the person who's purchased the church wants the church. So and if you pass an historic resource designation, the diocese is going to have obviously more than a little bit of trouble fulfilling those requirements of the deal. So. And that's what I was trying to get at before, sir. I mean, it's not a matter that the land purchase is unconditional or anything, that the diocese has the obligation to deliver that land free of a church building on April 15th. And if we can't perform that because the property's frozen, we've got a problem.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brander. But I want to make it clear as a councillor, and I'm not speaking for everybody else, that I really want to work with all parties to make rescind this so that everybody, it's a win-win situation for everybody. And we're finding out new information here almost by the minute, so that we have to digest all this stuff and get some answers for ourselves too.
I certainly appreciate that, sir. And much as I said at the, when I first stood up, that I'm certainly not authorized to stand here and start negotiating a deal
Yes, yeah.
in council chambers. And I think I believe everybody nodded when I said we have the problem that we've got deals that we have to go ahead in good faith and try to perform. Having said that, I can only say to you, if somebody wants to come and talk to the talk to the diocese and the local congregation, who knows what could happen. But I mean, they do, the diocese, we do have these deals that have to that we are obliged to treat in good faith. So.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor, I think, has a question.
No, I don't have a question, Your Worship. I just had a statement, and that was that in relation to what the solicitor said, both in his presentation and now, I certainly, have kept an open mind with regards to the Anglican community getting what they needed, and I heard Reverend Beveridge, for whom I have great respect, in these chambers say that he also wanted a win-win situation. I heard him say it outside of these chambers as well, and I believe him, and I further believe that one of the things that I was witness to when discussions were going on was that representatives, directors of the Historic Society asked fervently to be, that if there was a purchaser, that if they were not successful in being able to put forth an agreement or an offer, to please be allowed to talk to the anonymous purchaser. And the Reverend Beveridge did say that he would do everything in his effort to do this. We don't know who the anonymous buyer is. We've certainly had made a plea to be able to come together, to come into a win-win situation so that we could work cooperatively, and that has never happened. And I think that's why we're here today, and that I think is a very sad thing for all of us, and I'm very sorry about that.
Thank you. Appreciate those comments, and I'll certainly pass them on to my client. And I know I appreciate what council's going through. I think Mr. Kleiber said he didn't think there'd been a contested designation in the history of the province, and that would perhaps be different than the one I think I spent from roughly 1989 through 2005 fighting with the city of Calgary over the old Lougheed building downtown. Before that issue was finally resolved, and I don't think the historical planner still talks to me, or the Historical Society for that matter. Although everybody finally seemed more or less happy at the end, but it was a long process because you're dealing with touchy matters and a lot of money. So,
Councilor Graychuk.
Yeah, just one more. Are you involved in the written offer on the property, Mr. Brender?
No.
No? Okay, thank you. The other thing, is there a possibility, following Councilor Peterson's statement, that maybe, and this is just maybe to resolve this issue, if we could all get the concerned parties together in a non-confrontational situation or a meeting outside of the chambers here with administration, everybody, and maybe a councillor, not to speak as a councillor or the mayor, to sit there and listen, all parties concerned, including the purchaser, so we can resolve the issue so everybody has a clear understanding what's happened. I make that proposal, as I'm saying.
Yeah. So, certainly, sir, and I'll pass that on to my clients, and I hope if I'm trouble getting it. You have to recall we're in the complexity of the situation where the diocese owns the land, but I mean it's the congregation dealing with it day to day and things like that. So it's there's a little dynamic going on there too. But I'll certainly pass it on, and I mean obviously Angela is here with me and we'll be communicating back to the congregation, and it's the old thing that never say no to negotiations. You never know what could happen. So
it's a lot better than getting lawyers involved.
well, let's we have to be a little bit realistic here, sir. I mean,
Did you want to come
Just one thing.
Thank you.
No, one more.
Sorry.
Oh, I would just like to echo Councillor Graychuk and Councillor Peterson's views. I would love there to be a way for the different parties to get together. I know the property is, to me, it looks farther and farther out of reach. But the church building itself, there's a way to salvage that as a municipal historic building. That would, I think that would make the historical society happy. It would also, it's not going to make the Anglican Church congregation happier unless the land deal can go through. But I would love it if that could happen, if they could get together and find a way, maybe find a way to have that happen. It could circumvent a lot of this. And I guess I just want to conclude by saying I've been very disappointed with misinformation that's been flying around on all sides, even in the media. And I had a call from a gentleman who he's only been in town a couple of days, and he feels that the council and mayor have been portrayed as bad guys in this. He doesn't know any of us, and he feels that we've been the ones that have come out looking like we're totally against this. We've made our minds, we're going to take the land, and it's all going to happen that way. And for him to have that kind of an opinion and to have these kind of rumors flying around town, it's very disturbing to me, because that's the farthest thing from the truth. And we as a council, as I said before, we want to listen to both sides, and we want to find a way to deal with this to make everybody satisfied. So I'm hoping the different sides can get together as far as the building itself. Maybe we won't even have to go through all this rigmarole. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's all?
Thank you.
And I will say thank you to you and to Mr. Kleiber for coming and giving us the information which helps us to understand the situation better. And I think our community has a better understanding of some of the things that have been going on. And to reiterate, there is many people that would like to get together and to discuss this. Further to that, on March 1st? 3rd. March the 3rd? No,
First.
March the 1st. If I'm not looking at a calendar, I'm in trouble. On March the 1st, we would encourage all citizens that want to come forward and to give us your opinion and to give us your words in regards to how you want your community to go forward. This council would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Just one comment, though. Do you think we should get together before March 1st?
Together anytime they want. I have no
Yeah,
trouble
yeah.
with that. I'm just talking about the citizens
Yes, no,
coming out.
I realize that, yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. And so anybody that wants to get together and discuss this, we're willing to do it.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
You had something? Your Worship, I wonder if council would entertain a quick 5-minute recess.
Coffee cup empty, right. We have a motion to go in recess for 5 minutes from 8:25 to 8:30. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is bylaw 1540, land use bylaw amendment to bylaw emergency shelter and residential care. Planning and development, please. Sir, you have the floor.
Okay, so just to wrap up from earlier, currently the land use bylaw does not address emergency shelters, temporary relief housing, and group homes. The community is growing and these uses may be needed in the future. This bylaw adds these two definitions to our land use bylaw and adds them to a number of our districts as well. And kind of providing a more comprehensive list is proactive and assists in the growing needs of the community as well. So with that, I'd just like to close. Thanks.
Thank you. Do you have questions?
I do, Your Worship.
Please.
Your Worship, to Mr. Proctor.
Yeah.
I like the new do.
Oh, thanks.
That's not a question?
Yeah. First observation, Your Worship. Is this going to be discretionary use, so we're not to take into account additional vehicles being there and all that sort of stuff that comes along with emergency shelters and assisted residential care?
Yes, it's going to be, through the Chair to Councillor Walls, it's going to be discretionary use for a couple things. Parking, staff will have more of a say of whether this project is a good fit or not. We'll be able to comment on that kind of stuff. We'll be able to circulate to adjacent neighbors and landowners as well too to get their input. Yeah, and we can change some of the requirements in the district as well for discretionary use. It's kind of a safer way to do things.
Awesome.
We think. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing further.
Any further questions? I'll take a motion for second reading.
Your Worship, I move that council give second reading to bylaw number 15-40.
We have a motion for second reading of bylaw 15-40. Any questions or discussions? Councillor Oakland?
Thank you, Your Worship. It got put to me at somewhere in the last 6 months, and I don't know if you can answer this question or not, but with regards to emergency shelters, and I'm not specifically naming any particular one, is there not a bylaw in place somewhere with regards to residents living in industrial areas? Is there a way of getting that checked? No, what?
If I may try to answer that
Please.
question. It's unfortunate that a lot of bylaws do in fact allow residences in industrial areas. Often it's in the form of a caretaker suite. But if that ends up being a mobile home in the parking lot of an industrial use, it will often be rented out to people that have nothing to do with that industrial use. And I worked in a couple of college towns where I really don't like that kind of thing, where it's not good. Our industrial district does allow for manager suites and these sorts of things, but by making it a discretionary use, the key thing is to realize is that we are not obligated to approve the use. If it is a permitted use, we must issue a development permit with or without conditions if it complies with the bylaw. And most bylaws deal with stuff like landscaping and setbacks and parking, and that's it. I think for this type of use, you'd want to see, what's your management plan? How are you going to operate this? What are your hours? You're at least entitled to ask those kinds of questions. And that's why we think it's beneficial.
Your Worship, if I may, that's a
question. Go on.
It's really nothing to do with residential care or with this bylaw, what we're talking about. Residential uses. There's nothing to do with this. So it's really out of order.
You're saying that this bylaw is out of order?
No, with the question by Councillor Blokeland.
Oh, okay.
It has nothing to do with this.
Yeah,
Oh, I see what you're referring to. Okay, thank you. Good. Okay. So we have a motion for second reading on the floor? No further discussion? All in favor? Carried.
Your Worship, I move that council give third reading to bylaw number 15-40.
We have a motion for third reading of bylaw 15-40. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you for your time tonight.
Next item on our agenda is 7.2, bylaw number 1603, Sports Complex Planning Committee. And Legislative Services, please.
Your Worship, Council is currently working with the Golden Hills School Division to move ahead for plans for a joint multi-use sports complex. The Golden Hills School Division has asked council to appoint members to work with them on this project, as well as staff members. And to do that, we need to create a committee. So before you, we have a bylaw that creates a committee called the Sports Complex Planning Committee. In the bylaw, there's a terms of reference and a mandate. And the mandate has two specific reasons. One is for the design and construction, and the other is for funding and fundraising. Under the mandate, there's also phases that kind of spell out what needs to be done by the committee. We're recommending that the committee be made up of 2 councillors, the Community Services Coordinator, and the Director of Corporate Services. Administration is recommending that this bylaw be given all 3 readings tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your worship, I move that we give first reading to bylaw number 1603-03, Sports Complex Planning Committee.
We have a motion for first reading. All in favor? Carried.
Your worship, I move that council give second reading to bylaw number 16-03, Sports Complex Planning Committee.
We have a motion for second reading. Any questions? Councillor Walls?
Your worship, to our municipal clerk, are we able tonight to appoint councillors to this committee?
Your worship, the item is on the agenda.
Oh, down farther. If I'd have read, thank you, your worship.
That's usually me. We have a motion for second reading. No further questions? All in favor? Carried.
Your worship, I would move that council give unanimous consent to a third reading of bylaw number 16-03, Sports Complex Planning Committee.
We have a motion for unanimous consent of a third reading of bylaw 1603, Sports Complex Planning Committee. All in favor? Carried.
Your worship, I move the council give third and final reading to bylaw number 16-03, Sports Complex Planning Committee.
We have a motion for third reading of bylaw 1603. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. New business, engineering, Waddy Lane and...
No, appointments, or is that later?
No, that's later.
Whenever, okay,
That's
sorry.
later.
I apologize, Your worship.
9.2. 9.1 Waddy Lane, 2nd Street Reconstruction Engineering, please. And welcome.
Thank you.
You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Mayor and Council, tonight engineering brings to you a proposal for the Waddy Lane and 2nd Street reconstruction for 2016. In 2015, the town established a capital project for the improvement of Waddy Lane in 2016. This project will include replacement of water and sanitary underground infrastructure, as well as surface works, including road and some sidewalk gutter replacement between Lakeside Boulevard and Wheatland Trail. In 2015, the town also carried over a capital project to 2016 for the improvement of the surface works of 2nd Street from 2nd Avenue to Wheatland Trail. This will focus mostly on the roadway resurfacing and some drainage issues in that area, as well as some sidewalk and possible curb and gutter replacement as well. Professional engineering services for both projects will be required for the design, resident engineering during construction, construction inspection, and post-construction inspections for both projects. A request for proposals for professional engineering services for the Waddy Lane and 2nd Street reconstruction was posted on the Alberta Purchasing Connection between January 20th, 2016 and February 8th, 2016. During this time, interested parties would have a chance to visit the site and ask the engineering department questions regarding the project. At close of the RFP, the town received 9 proposals from engineering firms interested in this assignment. The RFP requested that proposals be presented in a 2-envelope system. The first envelope reviewed would be a technical portion based on the following criteria. We reviewed the technical portion based on completeness, depth and breadth of the proponent's team's relevant qualifications, completeness and suitability of proposed work plan, qualifications and experience of the staff proposed, inclusion of appropriate proposed cost control measures, and innovation and value added to the project. A minimum score is required in the technical review before moving to the second envelope, which contains the cost portion. 6 of the 9 proposals received a passing grade, or passed the minimum score, and proceeded to the cost review. The technical score and the cost score are added together to determine the best candidate for the project. After reviewing the proposals, the highest score went to All North. Their proposal met the technical requirements, and they were the lowest bidder among the 6 proposals that passed the technical review. The town is not performing reference checks, as All North is a firm that the town has successfully worked with on the past and current projects. The quote for professional engineering services in the All North proposal is $99,950 plus GST. Engineering is bringing forward a recommendation that council approve the professional engineering services for Waddy Lane and Second Street reconstruction to All North for an amount not to exceed $99,950 plus GST. And then the CAO is authorized to sign the engineering service agreement on behalf of the town.
Thank you. Questions?
Your worship,
Councillor Graychuk?
this 99,950 quote that we're given, when was that, how long ago was that given to you?
Through the chair to Councilor Graychuk, we received the quotes on February 8th. The tender closed at 2 p.m., February 8th this year.
So it's nothing in conjunction with the group that did along the lake last year?
Oh, Lakeside Boulevard
Yeah.
reconstruction? No, sir, that was performed by Associated Engineering. They
Yeah,
won that
okay.
year.
Thank you.
No further questions?
Your Worship, if I may, if council will allow me to ask this question, even though it's not relevant really to this topic, when will the project be starting?
Part of it.
Tentatively, the project is scheduled to start construction as soon as possible, so we're looking at an April beginning. But that'll strongly depend on the design portion of the engineering portion. So we're hoping for an April construction or be ready for April tendering of the construction. We're thinking that between May and July will be the construction portion of the project. As with most projects that we put out of this nature, we try to have them completed before Heritage Days weekend.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Just one more, sorry, Your Worship.
Councillor Graychuk?
Are you replacing any underground? I'm sorry.
Just on Waddy Lane between Lakeside and 817, will be an underground infrastructure replacement based on age of infrastructure. It's time to replace that stuff. Second Street has newer infrastructure, but there are some surface concerns, mainly some pothole issues, some cracking, alligator cracking due to drainage issues. So we want to address that at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nothing further? I'll accept the motion.
Your Worship, I guess I'll move, because nobody else seems to be jumping the mic, that council approve the professional engineering services for Waddy Lane and Second Street reconstruction to All North for an amount not to exceed $99,950 plus GST, and that CAO be is authorized to sign the engineering service agreement on behalf of the town.
We have a motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is naming Sports Complex Planning Committee appointments. And Legislative Services, you have the floor, please.
Your Worship, Council just passed the Sports Complex Planning Committee bylaw, so now we need 2 councillors appointed to the committee.
Your Worship,
Yes.
I move that council appoint Councillors Graychuk and Councillor Fuel to the Sports Complex Planning Committee.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Yes,
you have to.
Yes, you vote.
Forgot to, yeah. Can't remember. It's more than 5 minutes.
Welcome to the club. Next item on our agenda is 9.3, council per diems. And is that being brought forward by Councillor Blokeland? Okay. Councillor Blokeland?
Thank you, Your Worship. This is regarding February 27th, coming up here at the end of the month, with specific regards to CAO succession process interviews, which is going to take all day. Your Worship, without further ado, I move that the normal per diem rate as established in policy 1806 of $200 per day be made available for those councillors wishing to expense it February 27th to recover lost wages. With respect to policy 1806, this would be a one-time exemption.
Do we have any questions? Councilor Fuel?
No questions, Your Worship, but I would not be voting in favor of this, even though it's, I understand how some people would have to miss work and be compensated. It comes too closely on the heels of us approving per diems for fall budget, spring's budget, AUMA and FCM, so I have concerns with us adding per diems as things come up, and so I will not be voting in favor of this.
Thank you. Other discussion?
Your Worship,
Councillor
to speak in favor of this motion, I currently will be missing a day's pay for the 27th. I get that we're paid $24,000, give or take, a year to do this job, but I see this as above and beyond our normal duty. We don't hire a CAO. Unfortunately, Dr. Stanford's retiring. If he wasn't retiring, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But because he's retiring, it's your fault, Dwight, just saying, not joking. I see this as above and beyond our actual duties, and I would encourage council to support this motion for those that are losing pay for that day.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Your Worship. I would support a motion in a more general sense that would be built into long-term planning regarding any time a councillor is forced to lose wages. I think that having a long-term policy in, especially one that is introduced just prior to an election so that the electorate can have a say in it, there's lots of wisdom in that. I think that people shouldn't have to sacrifice their well-being in order to be on town council. If this motion passes, it's not something that I would be able to apply for because I don't work Saturdays and would not need to therefore recover wages. But I agree with Councillor Fuel that this is something that needs to be dealt with in a broader, more specific manner, and one that needs the input of public.
Councillor Graychuk?
I really have difficulty with this one, especially under the sense that, if you want to take it, you can take it. I don't think that's politically correct. Either we're all working as a team or we're not, and quote unquote, some councillors, and I do believe that philosophy. If we're working as a team, then we all take it, or none of us take it. And to me, that's very, very important. It looks politically incorrect, so for some of us to be a hero and vote for it and then not take it, and I don't think that's right. I think that's really, really wrong. Either we all get it or none of us get it.
Further questions? Councillor Blockland?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. I'm not going to repeat what Brad said. It's pretty well the same as, or Councillor Brad said. It's pretty well the same as what I said. Obviously, these particular all-day meetings regarding this issue don't happen too often for most of us councillors in our councillor lives. But nevertheless, some of us have to take a full day away from work. Me being the great team player I am, I was the one that offered to move from Friday to Saturday, so I don't know, maybe there was flex school days there, maybe you guys didn't have to go to teach at school. I might also remind Councillor Fuel, I fully support what you're saying too, Councillor Fuel. We shouldn't be giving ourselves perceived increase in wages throughout our term. There was a motion adopted, amended motion made on May 21st, 2014, with the amendments for per diems to policy 1806. You, in fact, sir, moved that motion. And I have a little trouble understanding which way you're going on this. But nevertheless, that motion was voted on in favor by 5 councillors, excluding Councillor Graychuk, because he wasn't on council at that time. I just thought it was something I should bring up, and I would leave it at that.
Your Worship.
Councillor Fuel.
In response to Councillor Blokeland's comments about the motion and the vote to have per diems, I did, in fact, vote for that and make a motion for that. And it was so that I would be able to go to AUMA conferences, which I've come to believe are very important, more so than I originally thought. I've come to believe that they are important for us to go to, So not being able to go to these would be a detriment to me as a counselor. So yes, I did vote for that, and I did vote for that to also include the spring and fall workshops. However, tying in back to Councillor Peterson's comments, to me, this just seems an add-on. And if we have an add-on here and we vote to have the per diem, and then something else comes up in March, and we go back again and try to have another per diem, to me, it doesn't look good to the public, and it's hard to accept. So, yes, and in fact, Councillor Blokelin, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was raked over the coals for accepting per diems for the spring and fall workshop and the AUMA. In fact, I was told by a resident that it was basically a hidden raise that we were giving ourselves, that we were affecting our pay. So I have listened to that resident, and I feel that to an extent he made a lot of sense, that we are adding to our pay by having per diems paid for. However, I do like the idea of Councillor Peterson's viewpoint that we would look ahead to a year and do planning to include any kind of a situation that would be come up with, and that we would put something like that in before an election, before new council comes in, so that the public can have input into that part of it. So I do not support this motion because it follows too closely after the other one, and it's another situation where the public will perceive this as another way for us to have a raise. That being said, I do understand
Sunday,
Sunday,